Okay, so today is day 6 or day 7 of the bulk. I think it's day 6, and we're doing chest and biceps. Probably my favourite session, just because the pump you get in them two places is probably the best from any muscle group. So chest and biceps. When it comes to chest training, we usually do 2 pressing movements, one for the upper chest and then one for the mid section of your chest. Obviously your chest is split into 3 divisions: your upper chest, your middle and your lower chest. I don't usually train my lower chest. I usually just focus on upper and mid. The reason for that is that most people already have fairly developed mid to lower chest. It's the upper portion of your pec which most people need to work on and bring up, including myself, which is why we do a lot of incline pressing. So yeah, chest training, it's 2 presses and 1 fly. And then when it comes to biceps, as I mentioned previously, we sort of just pick any exercise because it doesn't really matter what exercise you do as long as it's done with perfect execution and technique and tempo. So I think today we'll probably do an incline curl and a preacher curl of some sort, whether it's on the machine or free weight, we'll have to see. But last session we did hammer curls, and I usually alternate. So one session I'll do hammer curls, the next session I won't, and then the session after I'll do hammer curls. That's just how I like to do it. Obviously you can do it different, it doesn't matter too much. But when you're doing hammer curls, you're also training your forearms as well as the brachialis, which is a small muscle which is sort of like a ball in between there. It'd be better if I could actually show you. I didn't have a hoodie on, but yeah. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to do a little bit of cardio and a little bit of abs because obviously we are bulking, but we don't want to put too much fat on as well. So that's what we're hitting. Last session I trained my shoulders. I actually did, and I've actually done this 2 sessions in a row now as well. I did shoulder pressing, which I never ever do. And the reason I don't do shoulder pressing is because my front delts, well, not just mine, but most people's front delts are already fairly developed due to chest pressing. When you're doing bench press, whether it's incline or flat, you're also using some degree of shoulder activation. So obviously you're pressing quite a lot of the time, so your shoulders will be fairly developed, which is why I don't normally directly focus on my shoulders, well, my front delts. Obviously I train my lateral delts and my rear delts, but I don't usually do front delts. However, the last 2 sessions I have done, and I've actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I've been fairly sore because obviously I don't train them that much. Oh, you bastard. Okay, I've had to re-angle my phone because it was refusing to stay in place, and that's made me lose track of where I was going. But anyway, today's session, chest, biceps, and we're going to do abs and cardio as well. The reason I like doing abs when on a bulk is because when you're bulking, you have the most chance of growing muscle. So it makes no sense to not train abs when you're bulking and only train them when you're cutting and getting lean, because if you do that, you're neglecting the most optimal period of your training where you're going to put on the most muscle mass. So you need to train abs like there was any other muscle group, like there was a bicep, like there was a hamstring. They're all the same in terms of how they react to training and stimulus. So we're going to be doing abs as well. Obviously when you're doing abs you can do sit-ups or Russian twists or crunches, but as I said, you need to train them like any other muscle group. So what would you do in order to train a muscle? You would progressively overload. You would lift through a range of motion against a resistance. So that's what we're going to do when it comes to abs. And then as you get stronger, you will lift you will heighten the resistance. So that's what we're doing for abs. In terms of food today, because we're so optimal and have the perfect diet, we had McDonald's for dinner. We had, what did we get? We got a big cheesy with bacon, chips, Coke, and cheese melt dippers. Optimal diet. We're going to try and get quite a bit of food in. At the moment, my scales are still not working. I thought they'd require normal batteries, but they don't. So I need to go to some like Morrison's or Tesco and try and see if I can get the actual batteries I need. Because then once we get them, I can then start tracking my weight and seeing how I'm reacting to different calorie amounts. So that'll be good to see. But at the moment, we haven't got them. But yeah, we ain't got pre today. I've had 2 coffees already. I know I said in my first video of the bulk that I stopped taking coffee for 4 months. But over the Christmas break, I've got into a routine. And going back into work the other day, 2 days ago, I felt the effects of my sleeping pattern being messed up, so I had to revert back to coffee. So I've been taking coffee, so my caffeine intake for the day is already fairly high. But yeah, talking about getting back into a work routine. Wow, he just nearly crashed. Go on then, you fucking prick. What a fucking idiot. Yeah, so talking about getting back into a work routine, it's kind of been annoying for me really, because I was doing a video every single day, and my daily routine was literally wake up, record a video, go to the gym, come home, edit the video, post the video, done. But now, when I'm working, like a day like today, I'm having to record this video on the way to the gym, which I don't mind doing. It's just my car mount is one issue, second issue is lighting, third issue is, I don't know what the third one is, but them first 2 are the main issues anyway. And it's kind of annoying because I just want to be able to just record in decent lighting and in a normal, and have time to actually edit the video and stuff. Anyway, but we have one positive, which is this, if you can see that. Hello. We've got a mic. So when I'm in the gym now, you should be able to hear me, and I should be able to talk you through the sessions, talk you through the exercises, talk you through what we're doing in terms of form, technique, sets, reps, etc. Okay, so first exercise that I normally start with is this, and it's an incline press. So obviously incline press, that's focusing on your upper pec. As I said earlier, upper pec compared to the other 2 portions will be an area you want to focus on the most, because that's, in most people, that's the most underdeveloped area. So that's why we put it at the start, so that we can get the most output from that muscle. So that's what we're going to do first. I always start off doing my warm-up sets with absolutely no weight on the bar, and then I'll slowly build up and add weight on as we go. So the first set is going to be no weight, and then we'll put a plate on, and another plate, and another plate, and then maybe another plate. Right, so this weight now is like your last build-up set. So this is going to prepare me for my top set. You want it to be fairly close to your top set, but not heavy to the point where you're going to die doing it. So I'm going to do 70 aside, I think 70 aside. So this is 60 aside, so it's 10 kg lighter than my next set, which is going to be my top set. So when I do this, when I do my final build-up set, preparing for my top set, then I will just do 1 or 2 reps. Because you don't want to burn yourself out on your build-ups, you just want to sort of prepare for what's coming in your top set. So we'll do 1 or 2 reps on this, and then we'll throw another 10 kg on for the top set. Again, you need to focus and treat it like your warm-up sets and your build-up sets should be treated like any set, like any top set. You want the technique, execution and form to be the same every single set. That feels fairly good. Another thing I'm going to do now is put these bad boys on. So what I'm putting on now is wrist straps, these things. So obviously in the name, it's wrist straps, so they go around your wrist. And this is going to support your wrist during the press and make sure your wrist doesn't snap in half. So you don't have to use these, it's not required, it's not essential, but it will help. So I'm going to throw these on just to give myself a bit more support when I'm pressing, and then we'll put the 10s on, and then we will go for the top set. You want to make sure these are nice and tight around your wrist. You don't want to be loose, but there's no point in having them on. I need to check my phone as well to check what I did last set. If you're not logbooking your sessions, you need to. Logbooking your sessions means writing down your weight, your sets and your reps on every exercise, so that when you come to do it next session, you know what you're doing and you've got a target to try and beat. If you don't logbook, you're going to come into the gym week by week and not know if you're progressing or not. At least if you logbook, you've got a track of, I did 10 reps this week, I did 11 the week after, I did 12 the week after that. So then I will increase the weight because I'm clearly strong enough to do that weight. And then you're going to track down what weight you did, what weight you moved it up to, and then you'll start again. You might do 7 reps, the week after do 8, do 9, and it's a cycle that goes on, and that's what progressive overloading is. And in order to progressively overload, you need to know what you're doing and what weights you're lifting. So them two sort of go hand in hand. So if you're not logbooking, you need to, and that will help you progressively overload, which will build muscle, simple as. So I'm going to throw these 10s on now, and then we'll get into the top set. But I also just need to check my phone for the logbook, because I keep mine in my notes section of my phone. So I need to have a look at what I did last time to try and beat that this time. Fuck's sake. Right, so the one we did before was the top set, and what I do after that is then drop the weight and then do something called a back off set. So that's the second set that you do, which is basically less weight, more reps. I always train like this in terms of volume. I do 2 sets, 1 heavy, 1 light. So this is going to be the back off set. The one we did before was 70 kg a side, so 140. This one is 50 kg a side, so it's 100. Last week we got 12, so we're going to be going for 13 this week. And again, if we hit 13, then next week we're going to go up on the back off set. Oh, fuck. Shit. Oh my god, fucking hell. I felt like that was just all triceps at the end. I've got cramp in about 10 different places. Oh, fuck. I don't usually do biceps straight after doing chest. I normally do a fly after this. But pretty much every machine over there is being used. So we're going to do preacher curls now. I don't know why I've still got my wrist wraps on, but we will take them off. So yeah, preacher curl. You can do this on the easy bar, on the machine. You can even do it on a bench with dumbbells. It doesn't really matter. But I like this machine. It's hammer strength. which is one of the best brands you can get in terms of gym equipment. So as always, you do your warm-up sets, your build-up sets, and then I'm going to go into my top set and then do a back-off set after that as well. So obviously your warm-up set is going to be fairly light to start off with. Your warm-up set is going to be fairly light. Maybe not that light. But the point of your warm-up set isn't to kill your muscles off, it's just to get the blood flowing, get your joints ready for the movement you're going to be doing. Which is another reason why warm-ups are important, to avoid injuries. Because the last thing that you want is to get injured, especially when you've just started like a new phase of dieting. Because you don't want to start a bulk and then get injured immediately. So funnily enough, I actually didn't write down on logbook what I did on this last time, but I'm fairly sure it was 67 kg. I'm just not sure what reps I got for it. So we're just going to have to try and get as many as possible, as we do every time anyway. 67 kg. The rep range is always 5 to 9 on my top sets, so again, I'll be aiming between 5 and 9 reps. I'm obviously going to shoot for the 9, but we'll see. I think last time, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I got 7 reps, but obviously I'm still going to go for the 9. Okay. Come on. Come on. Well, I was fairly accurate with my prediction of what I got last time. Ah, God, that was painful. Whew. Anyway, this exercise trains the short head of your bicep. So that's why we do this. And then we're going to target the long head when we do incline curls. Oh, that took it out of me. I feel like that's why it's important to do cardio as well, in terms of recovery between sets of your actual weight training. If you do a set and it takes you 10 minutes to fully recover from that set, you're better off doing cardio and reducing that recovery time down to 5 minutes, 3 minutes. In terms of recovery times, I normally take anywhere between 3 and 5 minutes, depending on what exercise it is. If it's like a compound lift, like a bench or a squat or a deadlift, you want to increase that recovery time, obviously because it's a very taxing movement. Whereas in an isolation exercise like this, you might not need as much recovery time, but you still want to be fresh going into your back off set, so you can get as many reps as possible. So yeah, I'm probably going to take 3 minutes in between each set when I'm doing isolation. When it's a bigger movement, I'll probably take 5 minutes. So that's just how I do it. So yeah, the next set, I'm going to drop it down to 53. And then again, we're going to go for 9 to 13 reps. So obviously that's our back off set. So the rep range is a little bit higher, but the weight's lower. God. Right, so we've done one chest, one bicep, so it's time for the second press, and this one's going to be a mid-focus press. So that one over there we did at the start, the first exercise, obviously that was focusing on the upper portion of your pec. This one's going to be more focused on the mid and a little bit the lower, and it's a hammer strength, so it's called, like, what's it called? Isolateral wide chest, whatever that means. But yeah, this one's going to focus a bit more on the mid pec, and it's quite a smooth machine. Last time we did 3 plates, so we're going to build up to that and try and get about 5 reps on 3 plates. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so we've put these wooden blocks underneath the starting rack just to give us a better starting position when we lift off. Because on this machine, if you don't use them blocks, you start from a very wide, very deep position, which to get this sort of weight up from the deep position is difficult. So this is going to help us start off. I know for a fact this is going to be very heavy for me, especially after not doing it first and it being my second press. We probably will struggle, but when I looked at the logbook, we got 4 reps, and I know for a fact that when I did this last time, it was my first exercise. So if I can get 4 again, I'm going to be happy. If I can get 5, I'll be even happier. If we get anything less than 4, then we're in trouble. So let's give it a go. I ain't got my wrist wraps on as well, which may be maybe a good idea to put them on. But I can't be bothered. I'm in the zone now, so. Right. Come on. 4. Come on. 5. Again. The weight's a bit lighter, so I can actually get it from the starting position. But obviously, if you can be bothered, just always use the blocks. It's just a lot easier. But I'm a lazy bastard, so. Come on. Squeeze. Oh, fuck. I don't even have the energy to fucking press that then. Oh my god, I'm shaking, man. Like, genuinely shaking. Oh no. So it's the second bicep exercise now. We've done 2 chest, 1 bicep. So now it's onto the second bicep, which is going to be an incline curl. And for me personally, this is my worst bicep exercise of all time. It's just the most painful, but it's also one of the best. This is going to train the long head of your bicep, and you're very simply going to be at an incline with your arms behind your body, and you're going to curl up. Very simple movement, as all bicep exercises are, but it's more about just technique, control, intensity, tempo, all that sort of stuff. The weight that you're lifting shouldn't matter too much. Obviously I've got 5s in my hand now, but I'm not actually going to be lifting the 5s. I'm just showing you what the exercise is like. So yeah, it's more about tempo, intensity, technique, tempo, rather than the weight that you're lifting. Don't ego lift and sit there swinging like that. There's no point doing that. You just need to control the weight and actually lift it like a normal person rather than Tarzan. So yeah, that's just an example of how you do it. So obviously we'll get onto my actual sets now. So yeah, my top set is going to be these 12 and a halves. So it's going to be, again, it's going to be focusing on technique rather than the weight you're actually lifting. Obviously I could go and lift the 17 and a half, but I'd be swinging, and there's no point in doing that. You just want to make sure it's all controlled. So let's get it. And you'll have a nice pause at the top, so you get the squeeze as well, and then control on the way down, and then powerful on the way back up. And I always get really bad pins and needles in my arm when I do these as well for some reason. But they sting and hurt like a bitch, man. Oh my god. We've gone down from 12 and a half to 10s. So this set is going to be my back off set, which is a bit lighter in weight, a bit higher in reps. So the rep range is going to be 9 to 13. I'm going to try and go for as close to the top of the rep range, so as close to 13 as possible. And then if we do hit that, I'll be buzzing, and then that means that next week we're going to up that weight. However, because we're going to up the weight from 10s to 12 and a halves, that means that we'll have to up the weight from 12 and a halves to 15s as well. So we'll see what we get, but obviously, as always, it's going to be training till failure, partial reps, intensity, technique, tempo, everything. Making sure we're getting the most out of the exercise as possible. And I always lose count. I always lose count on my reps as well. So you guys can keep count. Or I could just say it out loud, like that. 2. That's a lot easier. I think that's 9. I think. 3 more. Easy, fucking easy. Come on. Oh. I've got really bad pins and needles. Really bad pins and needles. Right, so it's the last exercise of the session now, so I am dying at this point. However, this session does go fairly fast because obviously you've only got 5 exercises really. You've got 3 chest and 2 biceps, so it does go fairly quick. But yeah, the last exercise is going to be chest flies, pec flies on the prime pec deck. So this is going to be the top set, I think, depending on how the weight feels. So yeah, the final top set of the day. Let's go. That feels heavy as fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. 5. Oh, Jesus Christ. This brand of machine as well, Prime, what it does, you can change the resistance level, so you can either make it harder in the beginning range, the middle range, or the end range. For example, if you make it harder in the beginning range, it's going to be harder when you first start the movement out there. If you change it to the midsection, it's going to be harder there. And then if you change it to the end range, what I've got on there, it's going to make it harder when you get into that short-arm position right there. So that's why the primary current is good, because you can obviously change the resistance profiles. Even the stuff that's not pin loaded, the plate loaded ones, the plate loaded machines have the same aspects where you can change the resistance profile. So that's why we love Prime. And this gym is actually a Prime. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. I'm pretty sure it's a Prime dedicated gym and hammer strength as well. So yeah. I've just took my top off and I stink like shit. Today is bulk day 6 and this is what we're looking like. What do I think of my physique? I mean, we've got the arm veins. I know we've just got a bicep pump, but the bicep veins are still there on both sides, pretty much. I just don't like, I hate this point where you've got fat and you look a bit shit. And a thing for me, boys, as well, is when my body fat gets higher, I put a lot of fat on around here and around here. So you can already see the fat that's around there. And then if you can see, I don't know if the camera shows it as well, but you can sort of see it there. It's like gyno, but it's not gyno because when I'm lean, it disappears. But I store a lot of fat in my lower chest and around my hip area as well. And when you're posing like this in front of a mirror, especially when you lose your abs a bit, because like 4 months ago, I had abs, I had no fat, I was lean, my arms looked leaner, my shoulders looked leaner. And then when you're bulking, you sort of just lose your look, you lose the way you look, the way you feel about yourself just disappears. So yeah, that's what we're looking like on day 6 of the bulk. Obviously, my physique's going to get a lot worse from here in terms of how it looks when I've got no top on. Can you see? That's a better angle. That's a better angle it's showing. You can see my fat there, my fat there, my fat under my nipple. My back looks sick. I can't even lie. So yeah, boys, that is the session done. Chest and biceps. I haven't been able to show you what I'm eating on a day-to-day basis as much as I'd like to, but I can't do that because when I go home, the sun's down and the lighting's bad. I can record inside, but again, the lighting's just shit. The lighting's good in here because you've got all this, but when I'm at home, all I've got is my bedroom light and it doesn't look that good in there, so that's the reason why I'm not recording anything afterwards. But yeah, that's the session done. I hope you like the mic'd up sessions, so that gives you a better insight on how I train and how I do things. So yeah, until next time, people, peace.